Every Sunday they fill stadiums from coast to coast. They come to see their superstars, their superheroes, men whose names and numbers are familiar to the most casual fan. Men like O.J. Simpson, whose legend began in college and followed him to professional ball. Men like Lance Allworth, whose graceful style and God-given talent have made his name a household word. And men like Gale Sayers, whose greatness is such that his number is frozen in the mind of anyone who ever saw him play. In New York, there is another number 40. His name is Joe Morrison. He's not a superstar, yet he's symbolic of those men who since the beginning have been the soul and sinew of the sport. In 12 years, he's played 6 positions for the Giants, all of them well, but nothing has come easy.
I think I recognize I don't have the ability that possibly a lot of other people in the league have, so you have to make up for it through pride and desire and wanting to get the job done. And this is what I try and do with what I got.
Joe Morrison does make do with what he's got, but as is his nature, he shares the credit.
I think any runner, regardless of the speed, has to depend on those people up front to block for him, or he's not going to go anywhere. Once you get through the line, then I think there is a lot of individual effort, and you can make use of your individual abilities. But primarily, I think knowing what your offensive line is doing is probably the most important thing to a running back.
Yes, the blockers help, but Joe Morrison, the running back, gets an A when it comes to individual effort. As a receiver, he lacks the speed of jet streak burners like Bob Hayes. In fact, his speed is sometimes the butt of jokes, and one wonders how he ever manages to get open.
How do I manage to get open? There's a lot of times I don't manage to get open. Well, my speed is not going to scare anyone, that's for sure. But I think it can go back to some of the great people that we've had on this ball club in the past, and that's the Kyle Rotes and the Frank Giffords. Looking at these people and taking their moves and adapting them to your abilities, I think this has helped tremendously, even in running pass patterns today, because they knew the game, they were very knowledgeable, and they had great patterns. And Kyle wasn't, or Frank either, wasn't the fastest individual in the league, so they made use of moves and patterns and knowledge of the defense, not only trying to beat a man, but trying to beat a defense.
Again, he's willing to share the credit. But when he's out there 2 or 3 steps behind the defender, making the great catch, the credit can only go to Joe Morrison's determination to succeed. In 1969, he led the Giants in rushing and receiving. Yet for him, these accomplishments weren't important, for he's a man who does not revel in the thrill of personal success. For him, the thrills of football are above the personal level.
My greatest thrill, and I think you have to say thrills, because being a member of the New York Giants, playing in Yankee Stadium, playing with all the great people that they've had here in the past, and I think beating Cleveland after being born and raised in that territory, you always get a special thrill or a kick out of beating the Cleveland Browns.
In 1969, the last game of the season was against the Browns. The Giants were decided underdogs, but they wanted to win badly, especially number 40. And on that day, as always, Joe Morrison rose to the occasion. He caught, he ran, he inspired his teammates. Single-handedly, he demolished the Browns. Joe Morrison has given much to pro football, and it makes one wonder what he will ask of the sport when he leaves it for good.
I think I'd like to be remembered by my teammates. I think I would like to be respected by my teammates and by the people that I played against. I think there's a lot of things that enter into all of this, but I think if they would remember me as just a hustling ball player, I'd be happy.
It will happen when the crowds have given their last cheer, when there is no time left in the game for Joe Morrison. Somewhere in Yankee Stadium, an echo will linger saying, "There was a hustling ball player."